Welcome back to the MartiniWorks Podcast. It is continuing to get colder. I keep adding layers, and we keep the gas propane tank on just a little bit longer, and I think I'm getting a little floaty in the noggin. Welcome back, and thank you so much for listening in. What's the face for?
What? You said last week was the last time we were filming in the garage.
Uh-oh. Called out.
What the hell?
Yeah, you know, things change sometimes. You know, we had a regression.
One step forward, a couple steps back.
We told you in the last podcast that there was some really great news happening, you know? We were going to shop. Life was great. And then it all got fucked.
Yeah, life happened.
Story of my fucking life.
It's kind of like working on a project car. You think you got everything you need. You get halfway in, and then some bitch just takes the whole thing out from underneath you.
Jesus.
That's kind of what happens. So we are back to our garage.
We don't have a shop space.
We don't have a shop space.
Shop don't exist.
Shop don't exist anymore. Apparently, we were too difficult to handle because we said that we wanted a space where we could make videos and have cars, and that was too much. So we have another shop we're looking at. Unfortunately, it doesn't have AC. But we are kind of there's only like 2-3 options up here in Appleton. There's not a whole lot we can really go with. So we're trying our best to find something. We'll see how it goes. But hey, if you guys haven't yet, drop a comment what you want us to talk about in the next MartiniWorks podcast. That helps us out a ton. And if you are listening in, rate the podcast. That'd mean a lot. I don't think we've talked about that in a while. But we've had some pretty good ratings on the podcast.
Yes,
we actually have a little graph that tells us we're doing okay.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so cool
cool
to look at and see. And, dude, there's people from all over the world that listen to it. So it's super neat. So if you're listening,
New Zealand.
Okay.
That was crazy.
Australia. I love countries.
Name another one.
Oh, France.
He was going to say China.
Italy. There you go. All right. Well, hey, if your name is Greg or Donnie D, Jeremiah B tried a couple times before the order actually went through. Brandon H.
We'll look into
that. Alex H, Jorge M, Joseph L, or Antonio V. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Hell yeah.
Picking something up for the MartiniWorks website. If you are looking to buy parts, Mod Your Car MartiniWorks. Anything you want to start it off with?
Yeah. We'll get into a car updates quick here, but I had a shower thought the other day, and I was like, I want to run it past the guys on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a hot take, a little bit of a shower thought.
Ooh, he's thinking about us in the shower.
Is buying a used car from a car enthusiast actually worse than buying from a non-car enthusiast? And I have some thoughts to back this up as I got in deeper.
Dude, that's
Can you give us a case study? Like what car?
I'd put it under any car. Right?
Any
It's
car.
not specific to a car make.
I think it truly depends. I mean, overall, I think probably better from a car enthusiast, but it depends on how modified the car is.
Yeah.
And it's like what's on the car, because it's like I think it can be hit or miss. I think you can get some great cars from former car, like a used car from a car enthusiast. I think you can, because it's like, oh, it was just like my daily or something like that. Took really good care of it because like I take care of all my other cars, just don't need it anymore. There's a couple things done to it, but it's been great. And then there's the other hand where it's like a 93 Honda Civic that has gone through 20 owners, is on its third engine, is turbocharged, missing half of the wiring, all that kind of stuff. But it runs, and it's good.
See, yeah. What do you think, Alex?
I just look at most like car meets or car shows, and I look at the sea of hundreds of cars, and I think to myself, how many of these are actually like done right? And it's usually like a handful. And all of those cars will eventually hit the marketplace. And I think to myself, would I rather have something that at least at the bare minimum is bought by somebody where they listen to the dealer that says, hey, you need to bring this car in every 12,000 miles? Or do I risk it with Sebastian on the 7th ownership of an SRT4 that's got a turbo XS downpipe and it looks like the front bumper's about to fall off?
I think we have a Sebastian that listens to the podcast. He comments on almost everything. Be careful. That wasn't targeted at you.
So I would say I've had experiences buying cars that were sports cars from non-enthusiasts, and I've always had a better time with the platform than an enthusiast.
Let me flip this question on its head.
Wait. Before we get into that, because my main thought that was what made me think of it was I think a lot of times, especially all of us, we know the issues with our cars. And we know when we can get by with those issues on our car, and we push it. But a lot of times I think, and this is situational based, I think there's some people that aren't car enthusiasts, they just never fix it, they let it go. But I think a lot of times something happens, they're like, I got to fix it. I don't want my car to be ruined. I need to take it in and have it professionally fixed. Where we're taking it, half-ass fixing it, or letting it because it doesn't really, that check engine light, it's just been on forever. It's fine. It's, and we let her run because we know it's maybe not that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's literally what I was going to ask. I was like, would you buy a used car from yourself?
No.
Oh, wow, Alex.
Well, like the thing is
what are you doing to these cars?
Well,
I would buy one.
See, it depends because it's like when I sold the Datsun, when I sold the 996, when I sold a lot of these cars that were like heavily modified, I do write Harry Potter novels for my classified ads because I don't want anything to come back on me.
Which is good.
Which is good. The problem is I think sometimes people expect, like the 996 when we sold it, I sold it for, I think it was 45,000. I bought it for like 55 and we did a bunch of stuff to it. But like people at that price point for that car are always like looking for a deal. And I always try to share with people, like you're buying a modified car underneath typical price of this car already. Here's why. Like, hey, you're going to have to deal with this. Hey, we're not really sure what's happening with this. Hey, the car is wrapped. We're not going to take the wrap off for you to see what's underneath. It's kind of a gamble. Like, you have to be willing to take some risk if you want to save a little bit of money. Now, the guy that ended up buying the 996 didn't give a flying shit. He ended up just tracking it until it got sidewinded at a four-way stop. But it's like, I always try to tell people, if you do buy a car from me, I try to be as honest as I can about those things because I just don't want it to bite me in the ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't want to buy from you?
I suppose I probably jumped the gun on that.
I would buy from you because if you're telling me everything that you are even remotely worried about, I feel like that's a good sign. Like it's a good thing.
It's just like the cars are maybe really niche. Like they're not like, they're weird.
Yeah, you have been selling some weird cars.
Yeah, so maybe that's the problem.
I always try and tell the person I'm buying the car from, like, please tell me any issue it has, even if it's small, even if it's insignificant. Just tell me. I don't care. I just want to know about it. No one ever fucking tells me. I find out after I buy the car. And again, it's usually not a big deal. I just wish they would tell me so I'd know about it and I can fix it. But for some reason, no one ever wants to say what's wrong with the car.
Mine's the opposite way. See, I tell people everything, and then they buy the car, and then they send me messages years after.
Oh my God.
For no real, they're like, I still get messages. I still get messages all the time. They'll be like, hey, you own that red wagon, that B7, right? I'm like, yeah, 5 years ago. Did you, like, when you owned it, did you ever notice that, like, the gear got a little sticky in second? No, I don't know. How many miles does that have? Like 196. Dude, I owned it when at 103. Yeah. No, I don't know. Like,
I am kind of guilty of that, especially with the 240. Dan, the guy that I bought it from, I do still message him. We're like friends on Facebook now, so it's like kind of better, but I still do message him occasionally, be like, hey, because the car, there's like a hodgepodge, like all 240s, just like of different years and different generations of things in the car, because originally it was a 4-bolt hub, now it's a 5-bolt hub, and then it had like Z32 brakes, but the fronts are S14.
Yeah, that car is very
so it's like, I'll just message, I'll be like inside of the car, I'm like, I message Dan, what the hell did you say? You swapped out for the front brakes on this again? Because I don't know what I'm looking at.
So I have a little cheat code that might help you then, because I did this with the Gloria. When we bought it from Driver Motorsport and we were kind of doing like the whole shakedown and things like that, I spent almost an entire Saturday. And BC Racing sent me this like logbook, which has like, you can put all the mods and you can put all your fluids and then you can put like history. And I literally sat there and I just went and I wrote every single thing down. And then any question, I sent it all over to Driver. Like, what fluid did we swap to? What did we do here? What do we do there? And now that diary sits in the Gloria so that when the next person buys it, they can just have the book that has everything that has to do with the swap.
Because you guys swapped out like a bunch of S chassis parts onto that car, right?
So then that way it's not like a surprise. If you're the next owner of the Gloria and let's say something happens to the hub. Yeah.
No, we're not selling that car.
We might give it away.
No.
Okay, never mind. Dakota?
Yeah.
What's the answer to your question?
Oh, I think it's so situational based. Like you gotta feel out the owner. Yeah, message them. See,
yes.
well, right away you can tell just from reading the ad what type of person they are. And there's ones to fucking stay away from. Yeah. There's ones to inquire about. And then there's ones where you're super confident going into it. You can get a good feel of that just by looking at the posting. Mm-hmm. If there's one photo, run the fuck away. You do not need to look at that car. I don't care if it seems like a good deal. It's not.
Yeah. If you have to pull more photos out of them,
no,
not a good sign.
If they don't post any photos at all, just one, and it's like super close up or super far away, just forget it.
And if they're already coming across hostile in the description of like, I will not answer to the is this available messages. I will not fucking do that. That's stupid. Maybe just avoid.
I do get hostile
he's already
sometimes.
mad.
There was like a 3-month period where I was dealing with Facebook Marketplace people, and I was like selling some wheels and stuff like that. Dude, by the last posting, I was like that. I was like, I don't know if these your fucking 87 Mercedes that has 3 models made.
Probably
look
not.
it up yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go do the research. You want to buy the wheels,
Dude.
Look if it fucking fits your car, bro.
Dude, selling wheels on Marketplace is the worst fucking.
I'd rather just sell them through MartiniWorks. Honestly, everybody that comes in MartiniWorks, they're like, I want this for my car. We're like, here. They're like, dope.
Buy it.
Facebook Marketplace, it's like fucking 40 questions and 39 of them are in the listing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I will say the biggest thing that I've always had an issue with in marketplace stuff is, so we put the Nissan Z up for sale. It's on marketplace, right?
Yeah.
And of course, because it's our car and we do content, it obviously got shared amongst the classified groups of people. Yeah. Some people are like, yeah, whatever. Some people are like, I can't believe he thinks he could sell it for that amount. And I almost want to go out there and just be like, I don't even know what to sell the car
there's not
for.
many used Nissan Zs with modifications out there for sale right
You
now.
didn't like upsell it
No,
like crazy.
I random just like, and again,
all.
if it doesn't sell, like if nobody buys it, I'll just drop the price.
think, yeah,
you know,
you
like
even said that.
dropping the price is a normal part of selling something. I'm totally comfortable with that. And it's like, I'm going through, somebody sent me this like huge message and they're like, I can't believe that you would sell that car for $57,000. Right now, there's one for sale in Des Moines, Iowa, and Los Angeles, California for $51,000. And you think that your popularity is going to allow you to? And just went into it, and I'm like, you have a lot of investment in me selling this car.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know how much it's going to sell. I don't know if it'll sell for $40,000 because the market's coming down. But dude, it's not a big deal. There's people who like have a personal vendetta against people who list car prices.
Yes.
Where it's like,
Oh,
everybody's
dude,
like,
it's
no,
insane.
that's not what I would sell it for. So therefore,
That's not what I would buy it for.
Dude, it's
Not
the
gonna buy
most
it.
mind-blowing thing. They need to do a study on this because you'll see Facebook groups like super owners. Then a super gets sold or put up for sale for $5,000 over what everyone else is asking, and everyone loses their minds.
Yep.
Bro, it's okay. If it sells for more, your car is worth more then. You can get that amount. Why are you getting mad about it? That doesn't make sense to me. If they're selling it for more and they get more, great. If they ask more and they don't get it, then they didn't get it. And you were right. Sure, it wasn't worth that. What is the big fucking deal? I remember I listed my Mark IV 20th anniversary for sale, and I had to delete the listing 15 minutes after I put it up because of how much hate comments I was getting on it. And I know aftermarket parts don't add value, but I literally put about $5,000 into this car right before selling it. And I think I was asking $9,000. And I just got absolutely demolished, roasted. People just fuck it. I was like, I'm deleting the post. Jesus, I can't even deal with this. Next day I wake up, I had a message. Hey, I saw the ad. It was deleted. I'm really interested. Dude came and bought it for asking price.
Like that day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So fuck all those people that are saying that shit and getting mad. List it what you think it's worth. If people get mad, let them be mad. That shit's insane.
that was the same thing as like when I sold the 430 wheels, the first set, the ESR, they were 3-piece, they were forged. ESR 3-piece, you already know what's going to happen.
Yep.
Oh God.
And I think I had them listed for like 42 or 45, something like that.
God
and
damn.
of course they were, everybody was blowing up. And like even MSRP, I think they would have come out at like 72 or something like that, because they're 20 by 9 and they're 20 by 12s. They're
massive
huge.
and custom. Yeah.
And everybody was like just lighting it up. Whatever, didn't really care. I don't spend that much time in like the marketplace community.
It's not even worth it at that point.
And then somebody came and bought it for asking price. Put it on his F-Type R.
It's always
and
the
they
people
fit.
that'll never even consider or have the need to buy the stuff that will always be the loudest.
So I was just like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
It is the wild, wild west. out there when you're selling stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
It's almost become like a game for him. It's like this is like a hobby.
Yeah,
Just
literally.
going on and
but
like,
it's almost like I don't care. Like I
No,
think it
yeah,
almost
it's-
upsets them more that you don't care.
Oh,
I did have
absolutely,
somebody
yeah.
that was like,
eh, 'cause
I would
you get
never.
bored then.
Yeah, they dropped a comment. They're like, I would never buy this for 55,000.
Okay.
And I responded with, would you buy it for 52? And he's like, I'm not looking for a car. And I said, okay, thanks.
Then shut the fuck up and get off my goddamn car listing. What
You'd
the
never buy it
fuck?
no matter what price it is,
Yes.
apparently.
It's
What
you're
is
not
the
looking for a
point?
car.
What is the point?
I don't know, dude. That shit's wild. Anyways, why don't we get into a little bit about our cars that we currently own and are keeping at the moment?
yeah.
Any updates you guys have? I blundered. So,
Ah.
yeah, the S2K is fucking gorgeous, and you don't have to give a lot away. I know this series is going to be dropping soon
Yeah,
on
next
your
month,
channel,
I
and I'm
think.
really excited because, yeah, looking at it right now behind these two cameras, dude, it's coming together.
This
and I just want to say I call it from the fucking beginning. This is going to be everyone's favorite car when it's done. It's so good.
I have yet to see this car in one piece in so fucking long.
Yeah,
And it's not even close. Well, it's closer to done, but like,
it's a way better.
but it's like, it's obviously not done. But dude, it is looking so good.
Yeah, I'm so happy with where it's heading. We've got so many new parts on this car, and how we kind of dealt with the top of it is so much better. And we've got
Bald.
more stuff coming on it to kind of finish it up. I think one thing I will say is I was a little nervous with what we decided to do, and then we finally like kind of took a step back over there and looked at it. And I have this infatuation, this love for long nose, like short, snubby rear end cars. AMG GTs, Datsun 240s, that style of
You
car.
really do. Yeah.
And it's like this with that is that
It
look,
made it that.
and I am just in love. I am in love with how the car looks. So
Yeah, it made it that, dude. It's awesome.
yeah, well, now we got a couple pieces we still got to finish up. Seat should be here any day now.
Those seats are
Steering
gonna be
wheel should be
fucking
here
sick.
any day now. And then I think we've decided we're gonna go with a Works Bell quick release.
Good.
So one of like the ones that just kind of pop up
oh, nice.
instead of come off, because I don't really need it to come off. I just need
Yeah.
I just need some space for my feetsies.
Yeah.
And then after that we got signed up for our shakedown test. It's April 29th.
Damn. So there's a solid date.
Yeah.
There's a date. There's a deadline.
The
Oh, shit.
shakedown date's April 29th.
I do have to give you fucking props, though, man, because like, holy shit, this car, it has sat for a bit.
It did.
Right. And it was just it was in a state.
Is in a direction.
It was in a direction of really not going anywhere. And you really buckled down. And you have been consistently working on this thing. You got a good plan in place. And this thing has come so far
Thank
long
you.
in
way.
really not a long amount of time. And dude, that's impressive. That's something we can only like hope to do as car enthusiasts, is actually stick to a fucking plan, and you're doing it. So that's huge. It's looking really good. I can't wait to see this thing done. It's gonna rip.
Thanks, dude. I have to give a shout out to my wife. God bless her soul. Because, like, every 2 weeks, it's been 7:30 to 4 o'clock every Saturday. It's kind of been like the regiment. And she's like, so you really going to do this every 2 weeks? I'm like, I have to. It won't get done if I don't do it, you know?
Comes with a sacrifice, that's for
So,
sure. But no,
yeah.
it's proven its worth, man. This thing is looking crazy.
Thank you. Clap car will never settle. Dakota, what's new with you?
All right, I blundered. I fucked up.
What?
It's stupid.
What?
I think we talked about in the last podcast going autocrossing,
Yeah.
winter autocross.
Oh.
I wanted to be really cool and like have my car look nice in the video.
When is
So,
that?
next
13th.
weekend.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wanted the magnets that you put on the door with the like your number, name, even D Stone. Fucking sick. Looks like a
Yeah.
race car. So I ordered some custom ones. Dude, shout out. Auto Digits, I think it was called, something like that. Anyways, they were super fast shipping, not sponsored at all. I just couldn't believe it. Like, these were custom made, and all of a sudden, boom, at my door, and it had my name on it. It's fucking sick. So I'm like, Maya, I'm going to go fucking put these on the car. It's going to look fucking sick. And I go to put on the car, and the magnet just, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, God damn, it must be like too cold in the garage. I'm like, magnets don't need to be fucking warm. What the fuck? And I'm like, maybe it's like dirty. And I'm like, looking at it, I'm like, no, I'm like, it's not even fucking dirty. I'm like, stick it. What the fuck? I'm like putting it all over the car. Like the magnets fucking burn. They have magnetized this shit. And then boom. And it just sticks to my rear quarter. And I'm like, my doors are fucking aluminum.
That's a non-ferrous metal, my guy.
Damn it. So now I have these fucking huge magnet numbers. I can't even put them on. So I'm just gonna like put them on the
Fridge magnet.
Jetta and
Oh.
drive around town or something. Make
I
me
was gonna say it'd be a really cool fridge magnet.
really cool fridge magnet or toolbox
That fridge
magnet
is
maybe.
fast as fuck.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna try and just put them on my rear quarters. As like, dude, the Supra's rear end too. It's like super like curved. Like it's gonna be stupid.
You should just put it on the car.
I just need to use them. Yeah,
I'll take a Sharpie.
Is there any way, like, because I don't want to fuck up the paint, so it's not like I can just like painter tape it there because I feel like it's just gonna rub and hit and like I don't want to 3M it.
You know what would be hilarious? It would be so you to have what should have been a magnetic sticker on your car, and you take like painter's tape the sticker onto the car.
I thought about it. I fucking thought about it. Oh, it makes me so freaking mad because they're kind of pricey too. I mean, for what it is, and so that's where I'm at.
That is just the fucking epitome of working on cars. Something as simple as a fucking
it's
magnet.
That's the thing. Like the big things you expect, honestly, don't make you as mad as the little shit that just should have been simple. Literally.
Yeah.
I think because a lot of times you try to fit it in between doing other stuff. So it's like you already have the expectation. It's a sticker. It's going to take 30 seconds. And then it doesn't. It takes an hour. And then you get done and you're like, do I tell the public that this just took me an hour?
I try to keep it real because
What about you?
I had our boy Dustin cut me some vinyl decals for the window. So that was my
you're
solution.
so smart.
I didn't even think about the magnet. The magnet would have been sick, but now to think of it, I don't know if my doors are steel or aluminum either. So that's just not something I would think of checking. To be honest,
metal.
I forgot to sign up. I need to sign up.
Are you gonna do it? I would sign up immediately after this. Right after we're done with the
potty. Got a couple days left.
I did ask Josh if he's got any winter tires hanging around because I'm pretty sure the stock.
They do not. Tell you for a fact, they do not.
We're at the point in time in winter where everyone that procrastinated has ordered. Now you're past the procrastination.
Well, it's not the procrastination. I was never planning on doing it, and I have the stock tires, but I don't know if those are any good for winter activities.
Might be
Sounds
drifting.
like you need some things to figure out.
Well, we'll see. If is it supposed to snow between now and then?
Yeah, actually it is. We're supposed to get a big snowstorm, but we'll see if it comes through. Those things, you never know.
If you got a 5i 114.3 19-inch wheel with a winter tire, and you're located in the Fox Valley.
Are you taking the Gloria?
No, I'd take the Z.
Oh, I don't.
What the hell?
I don't know why I thought the Gloria.
I was like, what?
In my mind, you sold the Z. The Z's no more. The Z's not here.
Z's dead to us. My God. All right. What else do we got? Anything, or are we ready to head on a break?
Well, shout out to Continental because I'm going to be putting them winter tires through the paces. If you didn't know, they're the official sponsor of the MartiniWorks podcast. And I'm interested to see, I know Viking Contact 7s are good in the snow because I used them and I liked them, but I want to push them to the fucking limits. So I'm going to take the Viking Contact 7
push himself right into a curb.
Autocross them because I'm curious to see how winter tires hold up in that environment.
They will not fix your driving behavior, though. Like, you still have to be a good driver. You know that, right?
So tires will fix your driving. If you're a bad driver, tires will make you better.
We want to say thank you to Continental. It's been an awesome partnership. They make fantastic tires for pretty much every type of car. And if you're interested, they're also available on the MartiniWorks website. And we'll be back in just a moment.
Yes, sir.
We're back, and today we're talking about how much horsepower is too much horsepower. Honestly, I feel like, and I'm just saying it, I already talk a lot, but I feel like I got a good grasp on how much horsepower is too much horsepower.
Yeah, 200. That's perfect.
Gels is actually, so we're going to cut the frame right here because Gels is playing in,
I'm in my own little world.
The kid zone of 200 horsepower or
I'm
less.
in the fucking play pit.
Yeah. The Renesis KA play pit with the 17 people.
Don't forget the 420A, the FA20. What the hell else? Yeah, no, 200's good.
You are the mascot of underpowered, mid-trimmed sports cars.
That's the thing. I think you can have plenty of fun with that much power, and that's the problem with today.
Well, you can, but that doesn't mean that has to be the limit.
The problem here is all these TikTokers and YouTubers made 1,000 horsepower seem like a normal thing that people should mod their car to. And no, I don't think anyone really should mod their car to 1,000 horsepower. I think that's the most ridiculous, unnecessary, fucking cool thing that's out. Okay? Like, it's dope. I appreciate it. But I think it sets unreasonable standards because people hear 300 horse and they think it's literally nothing.
Boo, sucks.
Yeah, 300.
Slow.
They're slow as fuck. It's like, dude, you can't even outdrive 300 horsepower. I promise you.
I think you nailed it. It's like, can you outdrive the power?
No.
And I
you
think
can't.
that's always the conversation, because to me, I think it's like a conversation of the chassis that it's in.
That too.
For instance, like S chassis have a lot of opportunity to make a ton of power because people will do like 1Js or the SR swap it, and they do things like that. And then the
LS
conversation is when you swap it, what power do you go up to? And so I think it's one of those things where, like with an S chassis, for instance, you can have a 350, 400 horsepower S chassis car,
That's
which is
good.
going to be a drift car. 9 out of 10 times, it's a drift car, and you'll be happy. You will never be able to outdrive that amount of power on like a small technical track.
Yep.
If you're going to a full-on track,
Yep.
you're probably not building an S chassis. You know what I mean? You're like, the car is there. Whereas like an AMG that weighs goddamn 2.5 tons, you could probably throw a little pulley and a tune on it and get 740 horsepower, but it's just a big, heavy fucking boat. You know, like you're not gonna ever use all of that horse. I don't know. It's weird to say like 1,000 horsepower is the number, 500 horsepower is the number.
Yeah, right. There's no specific number. I think it's to each person. I think if you can go and take whatever car you're driving, whether it's a RX-8 or a turbo S2000 or Nissan Z, whatever, you take it to the track and you're pushing that car so hard that you feel like you still need more power. Like you're hitting your lap times consistently and like you're not getting above your number and you feel like there's more. Like that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I don't think you're going out there and doing that. If you can go to your track day and you just can't improve your time and you feel like you've done driver mod, you know, and you've learned the track and you're taking the best routes and you have the best tires, suspension, stuff like that you can get, then you look at horsepower. Like horsepower is like, I feel like one of the last things you need to look at when you're actually driving a car. Yes, it's more fun. Yes, it's more snappy. It's fun to fucking romp on the throttle or do a big burnout or, you know,
That is
fucking
fun. Let's be
drag
clear.
strip. Yeah,
that is
yeah.
super fun.
I enjoy it. I'm just saying you don't need it. And I just think it's so ridiculous that people don't think 300 horses enough for a car,
Even
like to have
500.
fun. Yeah, dude 500 horsepower cars are gnarly. Go fucking
Yeah.
drive one. No,
It's
Jesus.
like, well, it's only 500. It's like, I can go get a Hellcat with 700 off the line. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, that again, it comes down to that. It's a completely different platform, completely different animal.
I think if you've got a street car and you're just showing a car, I don't think a horsepower number means nothing to me. Like it is the last number I would
It's
want to
cool.
hear from you. Yeah, but like if you have a lot right now is the BMW chassis, like the G80 chassis, right? And these guys are talking about running 650 wheel horsepower
That's a lot
on
of
a
power.
tuned down pipe on a G80 series on the street, and it's like that's super cool. That's the least. Like you're never gonna use it. You're never gonna actually apply it. So does it really matter? It's like it's at the end of the day, it's just like
It's fun.
a vanity fun number. Whereas if
just
you were to
bragging.
tell me you have a 225 horsepower max spec Miata that you're taking around the track because that is the maximum amount of horsepower you can push, that's an entirely different dialogue. Like I see people even with like S2000s, they run 230 horsepower, and they would absolutely spank me on the track with 400 horsepower
what you're
because they know how to drive the car way better than I
That's
do.
what you were saying is like you're gonna have to like detune that thing.
Yeah, it'll throw me into a goddamn wall.
That and it's just like I think just to be even like competitive and have like that edge, like just detuning it just to handle it and actually perform well. Otherwise you're just gonna be fighting the car.
You're just you're just muscling the power. I think that one of the numbers I've always kind of told, at least I believe, is if you want a fun, like well-balanced car that you can learn in, try to stay at 400 or below.
Sure.
That is kind of like the number I've told people when they've said, hey, I got an LS 350 or I got, I'm looking to do an SR swap and an S chassis and I'm just looking at power numbers. What should I go to? It's like under 400. Just stay there because then if you want to get more power out of an LS, you totally can. But
And the other thing
you don't need it. You're right.
Yeah. There's more that goes into it than just adding power to it. And it's like I remember, like growing up in like the DSM world and like all that kind of stuff, and especially like even the FRS world too. It's like people even just throwing like turbo kits on like the FA20 and stuff like that. It's like, okay, great. Just know once you hit like 300, 350 horsepower, you need to start worrying about your clutch. You need new axles. You need all this stuff. Like there's so much more that goes into it than just adding power to an engine. It's like a lot of other things come into play to support that amount of power. So when you're talking like 500, 600, 1,000 horsepower, it's like you don't just build 1,000 horsepower Supras overnight. There is a lot of time and money and parts that go into that outside of just the engine to be able to support that. So it's like, I think a lot of people forget that a little bit when it comes to talking about horsepower numbers. It's like, it's not just the engine.
Like Uncle Ben said, with great power comes great unreliability.
What if you could,
a
though?
smart
If you
gentleman.
could, let's take all the
shot.
logic out of this. All right? Hear me out. You do want to build a ridiculously high horsepower car for no other reason than to have a ridiculously high horsepower car.
Yep.
What car would you build?
Some of the
Let's just say you want to end it. You know?
What?
That's it. You want one car, you want to go out in a blazing ball of glory. What is it going to be?
fucking 4-rotor.
Golf Harlequin.
4-rotor. Not the option. That's not an option. You got to pick a different car.
Why?
And it cannot be a Volkswagen because they didn't make anything fast.
W12. That was slow.
Yes.
Bugatti.
Not Volkswagen.
Basically.
Owned is not.
Shares a lot of parts with Audi. Audi shares a lot of parts with Volkswagen. Therefore, Bugatti Veyron is a Jetta.
It's basically a big Audi.
No, dude, I've never thought about this, so it's really freaking hard. If I was to go out and I just want to be balls to the wall, screaming in a car and take her out. Do you have one, Alex? Because I don't.
I do. To me, there'd be no greater car to just send it than a twin turbo Dodge Viper ACR.
Man, that's
Wow.
pretty good.
Like
That's some
those are
Cletus
the
McFarlane
those.
It will be your last ride. but
That
yeah.
is the.
Yeah.
I told Becca.
Like a first gen?
I told Becca, I'm like, if you ever see the ownership of a Dodge Viper anywhere around me,
increase the life insurance.
life insurance needs to go up because that is a car that'll kill me 100%.
That's a car that killed a lot of people.
This is a really dark.
Well, I'm just saying,
section
like,
Yeah.
there's got to
really
be one
is.
of those cars where it's like you're a little bit like you really just have as a dream, but you're like that is a dangerous car. Probably would never be able to actually drive it. The people that can drive it, they're only alive because luck.
Yeah.
I think a twin turbo ACR Viper is that car right next to like something even more expensive, which would be like an 812.
I mean,
super fast.
I remember when Dakota and I drove that fucking twin turbo rear wheel drive Audi R8 with like 1,100 horsepower.
Oh yeah,
I did feel like
The
I was
RWS.
I should not have been able to drive that car.
Every person I talked to that, because quite a few people got the chance to drive it, every single person had the same conclusion of, I drove it, I'm good. I don't want to drive it again. I don't want to have a car like that. It was really sick. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, but I'm done. I'm good now. I'm good.
That thing just wanted to kill me.
Dude, it was literally it was tunnel vision, like fucking space balls, fucking like it was.
It's not like it didn't hook. It hooked.
Yeah.
Like it
Just-
had the.
it hooked and hurt.
It's just you were there, and all of a sudden you're
Everybody
next
wonders.
county over in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's like you go on IAAI or Copart and you do type in Audi R8, right? And you see all the RWSs and you're like, wow, that was a super limited model. I can't believe all of these are on sale. And it's like, you realize they're all on sale because they all fucking crashed because they
fun
were a
fact,
rear-wheel drive
that one
car.
was crashed
It
before.
was. It was. I almost did it again.
I gave a cop a ride in that.
You did.
Yeah,
That's a
not
good
on the
time.
street.
He was retired.
And yeah, it wasn't on the street. It was on a track.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think what I would say is, when going back to the horsepower conversation, how much is too much or how much is not enough? It's like, I do believe you can find a happy medium. I really do think the number sits right around that 400 mark. I think in terms of any type of motorsport or any type of car activity, you can do it with 400 horsepower.
Oh yeah, all day.
Yeah. Plus have street ability.
I do
Plus
it
be
with
able to go to a
150.
car show. Yeah, we need to talk about
I
this.
don't know.
You could come up a little bit, Gels.
No,
It's like you're punished. You're punished in the drift world. It's like you will stay with a KA for 7 years before you're allowed more power. It's like it's okay. You can have more power. You've earned it.
I don't want it.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know if there's a number. I don't think I'd shoot for any of that because, like, now that I've owned a lot of cars since 16 years old to now and drove a lot of cars, I've really thought about it, and it's like I don't necessarily like the more horsepower cars more. And I drove cars that were sub 200 horsepower, and those were some of the most fun cars I've ever driven. Like, still to this day, a bone stock Honda S2000 I think is one of the best cars I've ever driven. I've had the most fun in, and that don't make shit for power, but I do have VTEC though.
Yep.
And I think that's the best, and I would be okay like purchasing an S2000 and not modifying the engine and just maybe just doing some handling stuff to it, and I think I'd be okay. This is still insane. I haven't ridden this since the upgrade, but I've seen you drive it. I think this thing gets fucking down.
Yeah, she likes to, she likes the party.
But
with that being said, I would say if you do have any sort of power plans with your car, the most important thing you can do is actually invest in tires and invest in wheels and invest in good suspension, which is why we want to talk about our next partner, which is Fortunato. Because Fortunato makes dope, good coilovers for pretty much every application.
Put that power to the ground.
And one of the greatest things about it is like they get really technical with their coilovers. So if you're looking to get into the sport of driving your car, whether that's drifting or track or drag or things like that, they can actually help you build custom coilovers for your setup. They're modular, they're rebuildable, and they're actually built for specific motorsport types, which means if you're going to drift, you tell them, they'll help you find the right coilover, right spring rate, and then when you buy them from MartiniWorks, they actually custom build them for you and for your car. So thank you for being a partner. Fortunato, you guys are absolutely crushing it. I can't wait to get the S2000 out for its little shakedown, running the 510s in the S2000. So we're going to take a small break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about breaking news and maybe a couple other things. Breaking news.
Hit me with it.
This is two different topics.
What's going on in the car
in the
scene?
same. It's a miracle. Miata sales up by nearly 50% in 2023, and
that's a
Toyota Supra sales plunged nearly 50% in 2023.
everyone's going to Miata.
Well, no, I think what it is.
Fox News says Miata's stealing Supra sales.
I don't believe that.
For fucking
I think. Look at we had the launch of the Supra, then we had the launch of the GR manual Supra. I don't know why I said GR. The manual Supra. Whoop whoop, and then nothing.
Nothing.
There's no announcements. It's just the cars that are out.
They got some additions that they're coming out with some decals.
Nobody gave a fuck about that. I think that's. I think just the hype is dying down because it's just the car's been out for a while now.
Yeah.
There's nothing new coming out. They tried to do that.
Well, why is the Miata?
Why is the Miata
Why is
going up?
Miata
That's
going
a
up?
good question. I don't know.
Okay, well, I
can't
went to the Supra comments first because we talked
Okay,
about the Supra
yeah.
first. There's two comments that I think that are worth talking about. So I still like beer said in a 50-mile radius around San Diego, there's only one Supra for sale, and it's not even on the lot. In 100 miles, there are 4, but also not on the lot.
Interesting.
Dealers are marking up the manual version and even some marked up automatics. Not sure if it's chicken or egg situation and production is down because they're not selling, but if I were a buyer, it seems it would be difficult to get one. In fact, there are more Z4s available, and I believe they're both made at the Magna Steer plant. Number 2, though, top comment was, in a 500-mile radius from the Dallas area, there are only 11 Supras available, and only 3 of them are at MSRP.
That's
The rest are at
crazy.
contact dealer or has some markup.
Are we talking about like brand new?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, there's no way.
Well, that's still crazy though. But yeah. The used market, there's a bunch, but
Sure.
that's they're limiting. It seems like how many they're pushing out at this point.
Yeah. In terms of the Miata one, it's literally just a bunch of Miata people saying Miata stuff. They're like, that's great news. Good. The Miata's a gem of a car.
Long live Mazda!
Good. The more Miatas sold today, the better.
That is some Miata people stuff.
I love it. This is fantastic news.
I am curious, like why? Like what? I haven't seen a promotion for the new Miata in years
like
and years and years.
Did fucking
You know what it is?
a new generation hit their 401k
Instead
or
of
something?
selling 10, they sold 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. How many are we looking at? Like 50%.
So
No,
they sold
really-
6,172 of them in 2022, and they sold 8,973 in
So that's
2023.
that's not a lot.
Hey, percentages are percentages, okay?
Yeah, percentages make things look good. That's for sure.
The 4th gen Eclipse, I believe, sold like 6,000 in its final year. So that's something.
How do you know that?
I just did a video on it.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
I had to look it up
I
for
was like,
some
why
reason.
the fuck are you hanging on to that?
It's a really random piece of information.
Here's another good one. Cars that should exist but don't.
Okay.
This is from Insomniacs 187. He said, what's a vehicle your stunt isn't made? I suppose you could be like a responsible parent and say like Honda Odyssey with all-wheel drive, right? But I'm thinking bigger. With America's endless fascination with luxury trucks, why hasn't Lincoln taken a run at the F-150?
I thought they did.
Encourage Ford, blah, 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 blah. And somebody goes, you mean the Lincoln Blackwood?
Yeah,
it
was
bombed
terrible.
terribly.
Yeah. It was fucking horrendous.
I'm like, I know they did. I
Not
know
good.
they
Do
did.
not buy one of those trucks. If you see it cheap, there's a reason it's cheap.
What about, somebody said a GR Prius.
I don't know why that's
Honestly,
not a
wouldn't
thing
be
yet.
mad.
I
Wouldn't
would
be
love
mad.
that.
Yeah. That'd kind of be cool.
It might
don't you
happen.
think?
We wish for it enough. It might happen.
Toyota been on one, so
They might just fuck
they
around
did it
and
with
do
the Corolla.
Yeah.
Corolla is basically a Prius.
Somebody goes, a brown, this guy's really specific, a brown turbo diesel hybrid 6-speed manual Mazda Toyota wagon.
What?
And he goes, in all seriousness, some sort of hybrid EV hatch wagon would be nice for the naturally aspirated market. I don't know what he's saying.
I wish all brands had wagons. I wish each one made a fucking dope wagon.
I wish they were all available in the United States.
Yeah. Yes,
It's
especially
just
that.
because those are all the SUVs. Why buy a wagon when you can get an SUV?
Why buy an SUV when you can buy a wagon?
Because we are the minority.
I just don't get it. It doesn't calculate in my brain. I don't get the SUV craze.
Yeah. I am surprised that Honda hasn't come back with like a new S2K or something yet. I know that there's like stuff out there about like the Prelude name and stuff being
But
teased
that was
again,
like
but
electric stuff,
yeah.
I think.
So I know Honda is on a mission. You can tell by their like advertising and stuff like that they are on a mission to like move into like the next era of stuff, and that I think includes a lot of like EV and hybrid stuff. But I am still surprised that like with like the like the Type R success and all that kind of stuff that they didn't take a crack at at least another rear wheel drive.
2025 Camino, El Camino.
Jesus.
I've been hearing that for 20 years.
Yeah, we need to stop at that.
Oh, where is it at?
Never coming,
Exactly.
and that's a good thing.
How about an American Ute?
Still not on board.
I don't get the Ute craze.
I like Utes. I think they're dope.
cool. I don't know.
Truck.
I do think a station wagon or just like more all-wheel drive options on basic sedans would be kind of nice that don't cost $1 million.
Sure.
Especially up north.
You want all-wheel drive a lot? You like all-wheel drive?
I do like all-wheel drive.
Okay.
I just don't have any cars with it.
Well, that's fine. I was just
true. Yeah,
Because
this is the Ferrari's front wheel drive, the S2K's front wheel drive.
the Z's front-wheel drive.
Yeah, you have all front wheel drive.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's crazy how you drift the Gloria with front-wheel drive.
Isn't that nuts? Have you guys seen the new Kia
No.
push on the EV9s
I don't pay attention.
and
to
the
Kia.
Oh, well that's kind of rude.
Sorry.
Are you a hater?
No, but I know one.
I'm sitting next to one.
Oh, here's a good one. I actually heard about this. This is a big deal.
Oh.
Allstate approved for double-digit rate increases in California, New York, and New Jersey.
Break
God
that down
damn.
to me.
Did you
like
hear
I'm-
about this?
Tell me it like I'm 5.
So this has been happening in a few different states for a few different reasons, but auto insurances and home insurances in some states are going up by like double digits
Fuck
because they've made like exemptions and they've approved these changes with like the state insurance guy or like lobbyist essentially,
Oh my
which
God, dude.
so then
Big
Allstate can go and
words.
raise the increase or raise insurance without getting sued.
So price going up because they can because of loopholes, and we get fucked.
Yeah, so something.
Insurance is the biggest fucking scam.
Insurance is fucking.
Yeah, so it's cost of repair has gone up, cost of replacement has gone up, availability of parts has gone down. Not defending insurance companies, but their costs have gone up. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That guy said it best.
Dude, yeah.
Always shop around when your insurance is up for renewal. Yeah, I mean, I've seen this a lot lately where insurance has just like randomly gone up for people.
Mm-hmm.
Even last year up here in Appleton, totally not car related, but we have an energy company called We Energies.
Oh, yeah,
that services our area.
Yeah, that shit went buku.
and
I'm broke.
and pretty much from I think it was from November to December, there was like a standard 15% lift in an electricity cost for no reason.
No reason.
They just
And they don't have to give a reason.
one day they just hiked up the price. Literally, the bill
I
just
remember, yeah, all of us were like, dude, was your bill fucking this? They were
Yeah.
like,
An
what the
insane amount.
hell?
But it's like, what can you do? You can't do anything.
Nothing.
Revolt.
Revolt.
Civil War.
Who am I gonna
You
fight?
can do stuff. It's
am
probably
I gonna fight?
not a good choice.
Well, they
to
did
do,
it legally.
Bob.
How can I legally revolt?
Yeah, that's the
How
problem.
come what they can do is legal, but what I want to do is illegal? I feel like if they're gonna fuck me, I'm gonna fuck them.
Yeah.
Phrasing.
Phrase.
Phrasing.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I hate talking about it.
Anyway.
It's just out of your control. There's nothing you can fucking do, and you just have to deal with it. Like,
Ooh,
give
me
gas
something
prices.
Here's a good question.
Okay.
Are you happy with the overall design of cars today?
Yes.
Why?
I really, this last little era of cars that pooped out with the new Type R and I've come around to the new Integra, especially the Type S, the Supra. Corolla, I'm listening to a lot of Toyotas, Hondas.
Yeah, there's some Honda.
Blackwing, like it felt like there was this one big push before EVs take over, and I've really enjoyed it. And I think there's a lot of cars that are in this era that will be timeless. Like when we look back in 20, 30 years, we're gonna be like, look at that thing, it's fucking mint. I remember when those came out, I absolutely loved them. Like even like GR86s and stuff like that. I think they're gonna be some timeless cars.
Yes, absolutely.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with it. I think there's a lot of overall, like the how do I say, like just regular cars. Some things just not a fan of. You can see how it's like one company does something and it really trickles into like the next one, and then they kind of take an example of it. And they're like, we all need to have thin LED headlights.
Yeah,
all of our cars. For whatever reason, like I remember when that was a thing. I remember was it the Jeep Cherokee that you guys have was like the first one.
Yeah,
I remember when that came out, and they're like, everyone's like, "Whoa, what the fuck are the headlights at? Like, why does that look so stupid?"
And now everybody has it on their SUVs.
Everyone has it. So, not a huge fan of like that kind of stuff. But like overall, I would say when it comes to like performance cars and things like that, I think for the most part, yeah. There's something that I'm like, the fucking square arches. Not a fan of square arches still.
I don't think
Subaru
that's gonna survive though, because
know.
Corvette and Subaru are really the only ones, right?
Well, yeah, but then you have, I guess, more in like the aftermarket side of things. You got like Pandem and Greddy going fucking nuts with like their square arches on their new kits.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Which is fine. It's just not really my taste.
Maybe
but
it's not fine.
Well, the McLaren, the new Liberty Walk McLaren one doesn't. It's got like the
Liberty Walk hasn't really done it that much. I feel like
You do put circle pizzas in a square box.
Do you cut your pizza in triangles or squares?
It depends on the pizza.
Depends on the box.
No. It does depend on the pizza.
No, it doesn't.
It absolutely does depend on the pizza.
Why?
Certain pizzas you cut square, certain pizzas you cut triangle. No discussion.
Can I have more explanation?
What more do you need?
You know it when you see it.
I can't just like
You look at that pizza,
rattle them off.
That's a square cut pizza right there.
I
I'm
don't.
glad Gels gets it because that's the thing. Please comment below.
No,
Alex making me feel insane about it, but it's totally a thing.
No, it's totally.
no, it's not.
Okay, next time we have pizza, I'm gonna test you. Be like,
Yeah.
what would you cut this
Like
pizza?
Pizza Hut, Domino's, triangle pizza
Yes.
all
Oh,
day
oh,
long.
absolutely.
Yeah, give me a square pizza example.
Park Plaza in Beaver Dam.
Nobody knows.
I know.
Nobody knows.
Stone Arch in Appleton.
Yeah. Oh, there. Perfect.
That is a
That's
square cut
local
pizza.
Yeah, that is a square cut pizza.
Is that
place.
just because they've always given it to you square?
It doesn't. It's just the way the pizza looks. It needs to be square.
Don't look at him. Look at
Don't
me.
fall back.
I don't-
Stay strong.
Don't look at him. Look at me.
Don't fall back. Stay strong.
I don't know if I would like it as much if it was triangles. To
But
be honest,
he gave you it as a square your entire life.
I will be here.
You've been conditioned
Here.
to like rectangle pizza.
I have bought Jack's Pizza pretty much my entire life. Always triangles. Always triangles.
Yeah.
I bought a Screamin' Sicilian, and I was like,
Square.
This is a square. And I cut it square.
You guys are ridiculous, and I don't agree with you. You've been conditioned to like rectangular pizza
So do
because
you always-
Rocky Rococo's at the mall
That's
did
a
it.
square cut pizza.
I remember Rocky.
Can you imagine
Rococo's
if
at the
Rocky's was
Oakwood Mall.
cutting diamonds? Can you imagine?
I feel like it'd just be gas station pizza.
It would be so gross.
Yeah, it tastes weird.
So when we do our Q2 car build, we have our own personal goals that we want to do with the car. We haven't told you the car yet, but it's pretty dope. I think we have Gels trying to drift it. I'm going to try and track it. But for Dakota specifically, we're all going to go to Beaver Tucky with it
To Ming's.
to go to this pizza joint
Oh,
to try this rectangular pizza
Yeah, we
before
can
we
do it. It's
head
right
over
next
to
to
your
Ming's.
monthly car show that features the same 12 cars from 1969.
Yeah, I want to get all the locals in Beaver Dam, all the homies in little Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, and show them this ridiculous car, and we can get square cut Park Plaza pizza.
I'm in.
It's greasy as hell.
I'm good.
It's so
That's
good.
awesome.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm going to be happy about it.
Oh,
but
you'll
I'll
be
give it a
happy.
shot.
You'll be happy. It'll humble you.
This pizza
Yep.
or Ming's?
It'll be like that, like all the Hallmark movies where the big business guy comes to small town Wisconsin
Oh
and
my
falls in
God.
love with it and all of its quirks.
Maybe we should all move back.
I'm gonna show up with like a scarf and like a
We're moving our
cardigan.
headquarters here.
And we're going to do it right this time with small people.
I also
like
love
you.
Christmas now.
I've been looking for answers this whole time, and the answers were here the whole time. Beaver Dam, Wisconsin at Park Plaza Pizza.
Hey, Hallmark, can we make a car guy movie on your channel? I feel like it would be so much fun.
Oh, my God. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the MartiniWorks podcast this week. Please drop comments on what you want us to talk about next. We are surviving the winter months, which has been so far so good because there's been no snow.
It's been a really mild winter.
Yeah. So with that being said, appreciate it. If you guys are looking for car parts, mod your car MartiniWorks. It'd mean the world. Subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll see you on the next one.
Cruising shirt, garage shirt, this hoodie. There's a bunch of apparel. Check it out, too.
Bye.
Bye.